Hello, friends, and welcome to this week's edition of Transfer Talk. Mark Heath and Ross Halls with me this week. Stu and Andy both away. Well-earned break for half-term. And Ross, they've missed an absolutely cracking week. It's all been kicking off at Ipswich Town. We've had the new CEO, Mark Ashton, start. We've had the new home kit launched. And we've had, finally, the first signing of the summer. The last couple of times we've done this, we've only been talking about links. Now we can actually talk about a proper signing. Wes Burns is the new man in from Fleetwood, a right-sided attacker. And you're pretty excited about this, aren't you?
Burns, baby, Burns. Of course, that is a Simpsons episode, but very excited. It's been a long while since I've been excited for a Town signing. The summer transfers, the last few years has not been that great, really. But it's great that we've got an early doors, a player that I know of as well. I've liked the look of him. When we played Fleetwood, definitely the final game of the season, his goal is the one that stands out. I think a lot of Town fans thinking he could be a player we could sign. Of course, It's a fee as well. He's not signed as a free agent. I think a trigger was activated on his contract at Fleetwood. But it's good that we got it done early doors. Of course, Mark Ashton's got a connection with Wes because he was at Bristol City and I think briefly at Oxford as well. So, Mark Ashton's not mucked about. He's got a player he wanted straight away. I'm sure this has been lined up for a while, though. I'm sure he went when he knows he's going to be the CEO of Town. I'm sure he's like, where's Burns? Let's get him in.
Yeah, and it's Burns by name, Burns by nature, isn't it? You say he's extremely pacey. He's got some speed, the lad.
Of course, that is a computer game, but I have seen him in flesh, and he is a very quick boy.
Yeah.
That's what we've been lacking, I felt, like for wingers we haven't had many pacey wingers the last few years, and someone actually who's our own player, because, we've had Ryan Fraser, Bursant Selena, but he's actually our player, a 3-year deal as well, which is great to see, somebody, to keep along. You always wonder, 2-year deal, 1-year deal, you're like, oh, he's not a long-term player, but 3 years, good old Wes Burns. Let's see how he gets on. Of course, some people may think he hasn't scored many goals in his career, but I don't think he's that sort of player. I think he's more of a playmaker. He gets assists. He gets a goal here and there. I watched some of his highlights, and he scores some decent goals when basically overlapping a fullback and get into the box and whapping one in. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, 40 goals, I think, in 294 career appearances for Burns. Where do you see him fitting in to the side, Ross? We know that Cook is wedded to the 4-2-3-1 formation. Burns can play a couple of positions, can't he, on the right-hand side?
Well, on my FIFA 21 career mode, I played him on right wing, but or Fleetwood, I think they play different formations. Sometimes they play 5 at the back, or they play wing backs, and he can play there, which is great. Kay Vincent-Young, hopefully, please pray, everyone fingers crossed on that. Hopefully he stays fit. But if he does have some niggles here and there, or just play, good thing Wes Burns can play there, and so that's a good little backup there. But he can also play, of course, right wing. And that's the formation, Cook likes to play, likes to have his wingers who can be defensive, but also attacking. So could see Wes Burns playing either side of that right.
And he also ticked all the boxes in new signing bingo, the quotes the club put out. He had it all in there. Massive club, great history, beautiful setup, great fans, great atmosphere. Ticked all the boxes. So let's hope he's as prolific on the pitch as he was with new signing bingo. And also, obviously, remember, Wes Burns, the first official signing of the game changer era under the new American owners. So one day he will be the answer to a pub question. So remember that name, Wes Burns, first ever game changer signing at Ipswich Town. Someone else who we're expecting to be the next signing under game changer, Ross, is Lee Evans, not the rubber-faced sweaty comedian, but the midfielder who played under Cook at Wigan several times. We understand Stuart Watson obviously is off this week, but filed a story from his Cornish holiday home, 17-bedroom palace that he's down there in Cornwall, of course, on his salary. He filed a story this morning saying that Lee Evans, he understands, he's on the way to Ipswich Town. It's something that Stu said for a long time. He thinks Lee Evans would make sense this summer, and it looks like it's going to happen. So what do you make of this signing, Ross? Lee Evans adding steel to the Town midfield.
I was trying to think of a Lee Evans joke or one of his quotes, but I don't know much about his quotes, Lee Evans. But yeah, this is an obvious signing, really. He's played under Paul Cook before. Part of the Wigan sides, was part of that team that won League One. The League One title, he was on loan at the time. But he's a player that I've liked as well. He's played in League One many seasons. He's played in the Championship as well. Speaking off air, he's got captain material as well. Currently, we haven't got a Town captain. Paul Cook knows him very well. Will he give him the armbands? And I've also watched some of his highlights today, and he looks a classy player. He can score a few 25-yarders as well. So I like to see that. And we've lacked, midfielders scoring goals. So hopefully he can be an answer to that. I don't think he will score 10 goals, 20 goals, but I'm sure he'll put a hand in it. But once again, another very exciting signing. I know a lot of Town fans are chuffed by this. So two very good caliber signings so far. Very exciting times.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this one obviously gets across the line. And by the time
Yeah.
you watch this, fingers crossed it will be done. We understand he's having his medical at Portman Road today. So fingers crossed that gets across the line. Like you say, Ross, potentially captain material for Paul Cook. I understand he's a guy who can play the 10 role, but likes to play deeper midfield role, runs about all over the pitch. So fingers crossed. 2 signings already in the door. When we spoke to Mark Ashton on Tuesday, he said, I hope to get a few across the line in the next week. And he wasn't joking. He wasn't messing around. So we shall see what else happens, Ross. But it's just great to actually have things happening, players coming through the door. In terms of other things that happened this week, and obviously there was a myriad of things that have happened this week. The kits were launched. The home kit was launched yesterday, Thursday, as we're recording this. And interestingly, the players that Town put up, the young guns, Andre Dazelle, Flynn Downs and Luke Wolfenden. What did you read into that, Roscoe? Because normally when clubs put players in new kits, that generally means they're not planning on sending them anywhere. But of course, we understand that pretty much the entire side have been told they can leave. So are you looking at that and thinking, oh, this is good news, those 3 are definitely staying, or what are you thinking?
Someone had to do it. They had to pick somebody. They couldn't just go a regular Joe or one of the groundsmen. They had to pick some players. And I think, the young guns, they're obvious, players to pick. And then with a goalkeeper, he's like Thomas Holy, David Cornell. Thomas Holy played most of the game, so put him in there. And fans love him. He's a good lad. But no, I don't really read much into it because I don't know if this is what I understand. I think they do the photo shoots before the players got told, they can go. So it's up to Town fans if they want to read into it. I'm sure a lot of those players are going to have suitors because, Flynn Downs, Luke Wolfenden, they're very good prospects. Andre Dazelle as well has had a fantastic season in League One, despite us not doing so well, finishing 9th. But I'm sure they'll have suitors. But it's up to Town fans. What are you thinking? What are you reading into this?
Well, like you say, I think we understand that the shoot was done before the D-Day kind of chat with Paul Cook, wasn't it? So at the time, they probably weren't under the kind of armed with the information that they were going to be told they could leave the club. So we'll just have to see, won't we? So, like you say, if you're going to put someone in the new kit, generally it tends to be your kind of young star players. So I don't know who else, other than maybe someone like James Norwood, they would have put in the kit. So there you go. What do you make of the kit, by the way, Roscoe?
It's not a wow. I think it'll only be memorable for 2 things. Of course, Ed Sheeran sponsoring it, and then if we get promoted, I think that's the only time we'll look back at that kit and go, yeah, wow. But it's classy. I think it's simple, says what it does on the tin, and the big takeaway, it's blue.
Yeah.
So,
Who saw that coming? Who saw that coming? Speaking of simple but classy, I think that sums us up. So maybe time for us to wrap up here. So there we go. Then Ipswich Town have made their first summer signing, Wes Burns. Lee Evans hopefully on his way through the door as we speak. Thank you very much for watching. And the boys will be back next week, Andy and Stu. So tune in again next time.